Right now, I just want to introduce my good friend, Xanthe Leblanc. She's offered to do a testimonial for me today. And so I'm now going to be quiet and let her speak. But thank you so much, Xanthe, for being here.
I'm happy to be here and to help you out by doing this. So my experience with Renu started just over 5 years ago. I met Renu through a networking group, and I had rejoined the group after having had a traumatic back injury. I had a ruptured disc, and I had spent, almost a year in bed before I had the surgery. And post-surgery, post-recovery, I went back to the networking group, and I was having a problem with my shoulder after having been in bed so long because of the nature of the back injury. All I could do in bed was lie on my left side, and I couldn't get up out of bed. I couldn't wander around. I couldn't watch TV because we didn't have a TV in the bedroom. And even if we did, it wouldn't have been in front of my face. So I was either on my phone reading ebooks, or I had my iPad and I was watching Netflix or reading books on the iPad. But because I wear glasses, I would have to tilt my head and hold the iPad up like this. And the pain I was having in my shoulders was from the strain of holding my arm at that unnatural angle for hours and hours at a time every day because I was so bored. And after the healing and recovery for my back took place, I was finally at the point where it's like, okay, I need to do something about this pain in my shoulder now because I can't lift my arm. It's practically like a T-Rex arm. All I could do is kind of flap it around like this, but I couldn't lift it up to the front or the side. So I went to my doctor and he said, that looks like it's probably your rotator cuff. So let's get you an MRI. A couple months pass, I get the MRI and the results come back that, you've got a tear in your rotator cuff. So we're going to refer you to the orthopedic surgeon so that they can decide what to do about it. So, again, a couple months pass, referral to the orthopedic surgeon. He looks at the MRI and he tests my range of motion. He asks me how long I've had it. And I said, well, at this point, it's starting to push 2 years that it's been like this. And he said, well, given your age, which everybody always wants to hear, and how long you've had it, the likelihood of this tear mending on its own is pretty low. So we're going to send you for another MRI to get it, to really pinpoint where the issue is so that when we schedule the surgery, because you're going to need a surgery to fix it, we'll know exactly where we need to go in. I'm like, great. Now, because this was the referral for the surgery, it was only 4 weeks away. So that was good. But in the meantime, I started talking to Renu about this issue, and she said, you know what? Let me work on it and let me see what I can do. Now, Renu knows me. I am what I like to refer to as an open-minded skeptic. It's like, I'm like, as long as there's no chance of it causing any harm, I'm willing to try anything. I am open to woo-woo. But there are some things that I'm not going to go for, but I am open to trying this. And so Renu did between seeing the orthopedist the first time and getting the MRI, Renu did a couple of sessions with me. And I didn't notice right away, but then I started noticing that, I'm actually able to use my arm to do real stuff, normal everyday activities. And then I went for the MRI, and 2 weeks later, I had the appointment back with the orthopedist, and he said, it's really strange, but since I last saw you, you no longer have a tear in your rotator cuff. I've never seen anything like this. And I was just like, that's weird. And I'm thinking in my head, geez, that stuff really works. It's like, I don't know how it worked, but my doctor was telling me I'm going to need surgery. My physiotherapist was telling me I'm going to need surgery. The orthopedist said I'm going to need surgery. And Rainu said, yeah, we can fix that. What do you know? It happened. So, that is my first testimonial for Rainu, that she fixed my torn rotator cuff. I don't know how it works. I just know that it works. My second testimonial for Rainu is for my son. Rainu and I are friends, so we do see each other, on the regular. And I was doing a mall walking group that Rainu would come and join me for. And after we'd walk the mall, we'd sit in Starbucks. And the mall is right across the street from my son's high school. So he would come in at lunchtime and pop over and say hi to everybody. And this was in March of 2019, early March, just before spring break, right before his birthday. And we were talking about how every year he's sick on his birthday. And I honestly could not remember a time when he wasn't sick on his birthday. And then that evolved to, oh yeah, he's sick every year just as school finishes too. And then, oh yeah, every year once school starts, a couple weeks of school, end of September, he gets sick. And then, oh yeah, and he's always sick at the end of the school year as well. Christmas, his birthday, beginning of school, end of the school year. Just 4 times a year, he would get sick. And Rainu says, well, that sounds like solstice sickness. And it's like, well, it's like, yeah, actually, it does always happen around the solstice, or the equinox, however you want to refer to it. And sitting right there in Starbucks, she said, I can fix this right now. And she pulled out her pendulum. She did her little stuff. And she said, after a couple of minutes to my son, she goes, okay, you're good to go. And we're like, okay, something happened. We didn't see it. We didn't feel it, but something has happened as far as Rainu can tell. Well, he didn't get sick that year. And he has literally not been sick once since she did this. Could be coincidence. It would be a remarkable coincidence, because literally he would get sick 4 times a year, just like, terrible cold. Hasn't had a sniffle since she did this. So, my testimony is that she fixed my son's solstice sickness. And again, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how it works, but she keeps proving to me that it works. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm still a skeptic, but she keeps proving to me that it works. So someday I'm going to just say, nope, I'm not a skeptic about this anymore. I'm not a skeptic about Rainu anymore. I'm just not. She knows what she's doing, and it works. And, my recommendation is give it a try. If you have a constant issue, give it a try, because it's definitely not going to hurt. And it's most likely going to help you. So, Rainu Aurora, 2 thumbs up.